Welcome back to the Sunshine M's podcast. I'm your host, Emily, but you can call me Ems. For those of you who have been following along, I've been going over body image through different lenses. Last week, I talked about body image through the lens of validation, and this week through the lens of comparison. Comparison creates a constant feeling of not enoughness. I have been comparing myself to everyone around me for as long as I could remember. Anytime I met anyone, I immediately would compare myself to them. One, so that I could find something that we have in common, but two, so that I could see where I stand in society. My sister and I are 7 years apart, and she and I have completely different body types. I like to say that her body type is kind of like my dad's side of the family, and my body type is like my mom's side of the family. Both sides of my family are absolutely beautiful. As long as I can remember, we've been compared, especially our bodies, which is weird because we're 7 years apart and we've gone through different things in our lives. So the comparison is just kind of weird as fuck if you ask me, but here we are. I remember early on being really confused when I looked at how our bodies adapted to movement. My sister is able to gain muscle pretty easily. She's able to gain muscle like crazy and lean down. And I can kind of gain muscle, but I cannot lean at all. Like ever. Even when I was doing something I wasn't supposed to lose weight, I still wasn't lean. I still wasn't small. I'm 5'6". I'm built like a tank. But I have benefits with that. But constantly I was comparing myself to my sister. She ran for a couple years, like a lot, like half marathons and shit. And I have asthma and was not running. I was not doing that. I cheered because she cheered. She did volleyball. I contemplated doing volleyball. Like, I was constantly wanting to be like her. And so I was constantly comparing myself to her. And don't get me wrong, she's a great role model to have, a great person to emulate. But because of that, I wasn't trying to be myself at all. To be fair, I am a cheerleader in and out, inside and out. I am a wellness coach. I'm literally like a cheerleader, guiding people on their journeys and supporting them. That's who I am to my very core. So she didn't lead me astray, but I wanted to be like her, so I would do anything to be like her. And the same goes for, celebrities or my content creators that I wanted to look like them. I wanted to be like them. I wanted to act like them. I wanted their lifestyle. I wanted their discipline. I wanted the progress that they were seeing. I wanted it. I just wanted what everyone else had. As I've said a couple times, I am friends with people who are absolutely stunning. I don't have any ugly friends. Not that there are a huge amount of ugly people out there, but I make a joke, but I mean it. I don't have any ugly friends. I'm not friends with ugly people because they're all very beautiful visually and then also in their soul. They are absolutely stunning people. So the comparison didn't stop when it came to family and people I looked up to. The comparison continued throughout my entire life. I compare myself in every single photo that I have. I compare who I'm standing next to. I'm constantly being like, their outfit, my outfit. Their body, my body. Their energy level, my energy level. I'm constantly looking for a comparison to feel like I'm enough or I am okay to be compared to by the people around me. I even compare myself to my past self. For those of you who don't know, I drastically lost weight in high school and then a little bit in college via things I wasn't supposed to be doing. It's so hard not to compare my body to what it was when I thought I had the ideal thing. But then I have to remind myself, like, one, okay, you were 15 years old. Cool. You are 26 now. Your body's not supposed to look like a 15-year-old. You're a grown-ass adult. Your body's meant to change and age like fine wine. But it's hard to get around that. The discipline I had back then was uncanny. I mean, I lived, breathed cheerleading, and I was constantly moving my body. I was constantly exerting myself. And I had that drive. But the drive that I had was like an addiction to wanting perfection. I compare myself to back then, where I may not have the same amount of discipline, but I do have 1,000 times more grace and understanding and respect for myself that I didn't have. That what's really crazy to me is we all compare ourselves, but it's when you compare yourself to like people you don't even resonate with. Like, if I don't like someone, why am I comparing myself to them? Being like, well, they have this. Okay, well, there's a reason you don't like them. For an example, not to air some tea, but I'm not close with someone for a reason. And I've been like, oh, but she has this, she has that. And I'm like, yeah, well, she's also a liar. She's also probably lonely because she doesn't have good friends like you anymore. Like, I have to remind myself, why am I comparing myself to someone I don't resonate with, I don't respect, I don't value, huh? Like, my dad always said, consider the source. When someone's talking bad about you, just realize, like, do you care how they are in life? Do they resonate with you? Is that someone you want in your corner? Okay, consider the source. Like, if their opinion doesn't matter. That's easier said than done as someone who internalizes everything, but it is good advice. I mean, there's even gym comparison. I had this recently where I was doing an arm day in the gym and I was doing some hammer curls into cross body curls as a superset. And my arms were shot because I decided to do another on top of that, where once I was done with that superset, I would go ahead and do farmer carries around the gym. 2 laps, and then be like, okay, take a quick breather, water break, get back into it. Okay, so my arms were shot. Okay, they were gone. They were dead. So I did 10 pounders. And knowing me, that's not a lot. But considering I was working until I was fatigued, I feel like that's more than enough to go off. Every guy was doing arm day that day. Which, are we shocked? No. Because that's pretty much the main body region that they work on anyway. To my male listeners, why you got chicken legs? You ain't got no legs, you don't do leg day. No judgment though. No judgment, just an observation. And it's a joke. There was this one guy who was just like kind of looking at me, but I couldn't tell. I don't wear my glasses in the gym, and I don't wear my glasses on the main monthly episodes because I don't know. I don't like the reflection of my lights and stuff. So I can't see if this guy's looking at me or not, and I don't really care. I'm in there in the gym with a purpose, on a mission. And all of a sudden, I'm like kind of tucked in behind the cables machine so that I'm not in anyone's way, but I can still see myself and my form. And he's on the cables. All of a sudden, he stops his cables, and I'm like, cool, don't care. I'm lifting. And then he like stands almost in front of me, and I'm like, okay, whatever. The mirror is yay big, whatever. And then he starts lifting like 20s, doing the same curls that I'm doing. And he's repping them like crazy, really fast. And I'm just out here like, okay, if that's your workout, that's your workout. But you're looking at me like, yeah, I can lift more than you. Okay. I'm out here trying to better myself. I'm not looking at you being like, dang, that guy's lifting more than me. I would hope so. His arms are super strong and muscly. I would hope so. But there's comparison everywhere, even in the gym. when we're all just trying to better ourselves, which is like, maybe just stick to your own mission. If that was on your game plan, your little workout routine, go for it. But the moment I stopped, you stopped. You did one bit. Okay. Whatever makes you feel better. Helps you sleep at night, dude. And then we also compare ourselves to others on social media. But we're comparing in a way like we don't see the struggle behind all of these highlights. And I know I've mentioned that before. You don't know what they did to get there. They don't know what you were doing to get to your highlights either. So really consider what you're looking at. I just always felt like I was behind. Like I was taking so long with my associate's degree. I was taking so long with my bachelor's degree. I'm not married. I don't have kids. Like I was constantly comparing the lives around me to the people of my peers, being like, ugh, I'm nowhere and they're everywhere. What the hell? But I wasn't behind. I'm not behind. I wasn't living my life because all I was doing was measuring it. Fun fact, measuring your life into statistics, into numbers, doesn't show how happy you are. Doesn't show how hard you've worked. Achievements are great, okay? Don't get me wrong. I love a good award, okay? I love a good celebration, good victory. You can have awards on your wall. You could have the body that you dreamed of always having and still not be happy, still not be, content in life. Goals are awesome and achievements are amazing, but who you are and how you feel fulfilled is way more important. I guess the way to reframe all of this comparison is be aware of what kind of content you consume. Are you constantly following, people on social media who have this dream life that you just wish you had and compare and you compare. Are you following people who were mean girls in high school and you're like, God, I wish I had my life like them? Realize that that's the content that you are consuming. You're not just viewing it. I know you're not just viewing it because you're not just viewing content, okay? It changes your mood. So really consider what you have around you and what kind of environments you have around you. My friends are stunning, but they're stunning on the inside too. They are people that I resonate with. They are people that I would love to be compared to because they are amazing people. Comparison doesn't have to be about your body for it to be damaging. I always felt behind in my body. I always felt left out. I always felt aware. And I always compared it to everything around me. Having good people in your life will help work out all of the comparison. When I compare myself to my friends and I love who I am and I love them and they love me, who cares about comparison? My friend literally looks like Zendaya. She's stunning. She's gorgeous. She has a huge ass heart. She's dedicated. She's driven. She is underestimated constantly because of her looks. When I compare myself to her, it's no longer about my body. It used to be. Because she also got a body on her too. Like, what the hell? I compare myself to her in a way of like, I want that characteristic. So I'm going to keep her in my life. She's going to feed into me and I'm going to feed into her. And I'm going to grow and she's going to grow. Look at the people around you and content and the interactions that you have. And evaluate if they're feeding you or draining you. Come back to yourself. Realize that you are the control. You are the person that you are basing this on. So if you're constantly following creators that don't resonate with you, that make you feel more drained than not, my advice, remove them. Don't follow them. Find creators that bring you joy and laughter, because comparison can be a beautiful thing. It can motivate you, but it does create that feeling of not being enough. So find people and content that does make you feel like you are enough, that you can be enough, that you will be enough. Just some advice. I want to thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. For those of you who don't know, on Tuesdays I have episodes where I read what you guys submit to me. I react, comment, and give you my take on some of the stories that you're submitting. If you're interested in getting some things off your chest, or you just want to share a little secret, there is a link in the description below. Next week is the last week of this series. It was never about my body. I will be talking about body image through the lens of perception and projection. I can't wait to see you guys next time. I hope you took what you needed, left what you didn't, and in the meantime, show up for yourself. Because if you don't, I will show up for you. I love you guys.